And we are back with the 5th episode of the Fixing Velma series, and my god, will this ever end? Yes, I am happy to confirm that after this episode, there are only 2 more left, thank god. I love doing this series, but it can be exhausting, especially when there are other projects that I'm starting to get an itching to do, but don't worry, I will never sacrifice the writing just to get a project over with. With that said, let's go ahead and get on with the video. Enjoy. Velma accidentally fell asleep on the couch waiting on Sam. Her father wakes her and she finds that it's morning. She's confused by this, but her father adds to it as he tells her that Sam was in an accident. They waste no time driving to the hospital. Sam's parents inform him that physically he's okay, but has a slight concussion. They allow Velma to go see him. Hey Velma, great timing. They're about to bring me my breakfast. If it's Jell-O, will you please eat it? You know how much I hate that stuff. What's with that face? First time, it's an accident. Second time, it's a coincidence. Third time, it's a pattern. Fourth, it's a damn conspiracy. There was nothing Sam could say except the truth. When he got the file, he immediately left the lab, and at first he didn't even notice the car behind him. It was by the second turn that the car catches his attention. Sam had never been in a situation like this, but instincts told him to make another turn. He turned on a road that made a circle back around, and to his fears, there was no denying that he was being followed. What made it worse was the road he turned on was an old back road, and the car behind him knew it as it sped up. Sam tried to get back on the main road as fast as he could, but the car behind him wasn't going to let him, as it rammed into him twice before the third hit caused Sam to swerve, hitting a tree. Thankfully, Sam called 911 after the car hit him the first time because the collision knocked him out almost instantly. As Sam was fading in and out of consciousness, he listened as he heard his car doors opening. He thought they were going to finish him off, but instead they took the file without even looking inside it. Alright then, that settles it. What's the next move? Nothing. I'm done. You're kidding. Velma, there's something going on here. You can't just run away. This is what you do. This isn't a man in a mask that just wants to scare the locals away from a treasure they found. It's been 10 years. 10 years, Sam! And whoever this is wants to keep this buried and is willing to go to that extreme. No, no more. I can't. I won't risk losing what I have for a ghost. This is a pinnacle moment for Velma's character as she goes from being obsessed about finding out what happened to her mother to realizing what it might cost her to keep going. Both Sam and Velma has warned her about this, and unfortunately it does sometimes take an extreme for the message to finally get across. Velma and her father return home. He plans to take the day off, but Velma insists that he go to work. He's hesitant to do so, but he's even more hesitant to tell Velma that he got his assistant to look up the sinkhole incident and found a report about it. He reluctantly gives her the file, but in light of all that's happened, she prefers not to worry about that right now. Her father's relieved to hear that and tells her that if she needs him, just to call. Alone, Velma goes to take a shower, but when she goes to her room, she notices that something's off. It's the box. It's not where she left it. At that moment, she does her damnedest to remember where she last laid her test results at. She knows that she left it on the desk, but tears her entire room apart looking for it. It's nowhere to be found. Velma has a moment of panic as the gravity of the situation hits her. She thinks about calling Daphne and the others, but the thought of the same thing happening to them that happened to Sam prevents her from doing so. She thinks about calling her father, but what can he do but just call the police when she can do that herself? She doesn't know who to turn to as she doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. Fred, I didn't expect a call from you today. I just wanted to catch up. Is this a bad time? Actually, I don't think there ever would be a better time than now. I don't know how to respond to that. Is there something you need, Fred? Well, Daph and Shaggy was getting worried about you, so that's why I'm calling. You know those two, they worry too much. It's because we don't worry enough. Shaggy and Daph wear their emotions on their sleeves, while we tend to suppress ours. Velma, if you don't want to tell me anything, that's fine, but just know we're only a phone call away. I know, Fred, and I will always be grateful for that. Now this part is very interesting. In the last scene we saw Velma progressing as it finally hit home to her that finding the truth isn't worth risking what she has, but as it's being discovered that someone is interfering with the investigation, this is putting Velma in a vulnerable position, as she doesn't know who to go to or if she should go to someone knowing the links the stranger is going to suppress the truth. This can lead to her becoming paranoid and isolate herself as she thinks she has no one to turn to, and we instantly see the toll it takes on her as she has another episode, but luckily, she's quickly reminded that she's not alone. Given how Fred's character was treated in Mindy Kaling's Velma show, I thought he deserved a moment in the sun, to be a real Chad, and what better time for him to call but when Velma is at her worst. In case you're wondering, the reason I don't let Velma disclose what's going on to the Mr. Ink gang is because I want to show their personalities through their friendship with her, under the guise that everything's fine, but even then, they can recognize when something's wrong with their friend and do what they can without overstepping. The call calmed Velma's nerves as she gets to work cleaning the mess she made. As she's putting everything back in her mother's box, she finds a business card. She looks up the name Edna Purdue, but can't find much about her except that she used to work at the same university that her mother did. Other than that, she's a ghost with no socials. Velma thinks to call William for some clarity, but instead chooses to look into the file her father left. While not well versed in these matters, to her understanding, nothing appeared abnormal about the procedure. However, the name of the company that was hired to drain the sinkhole seems familiar, but she can't recall it. But she does know someone who might be able to help. She calls for an Uber and makes her way to the Jones estate. When she became friends with Fred, she found out his mother was a big Ben Ravencroft fan like herself. Velma joined Victoria's book club and the two really bonded over that. When Velma arrives, Victoria greets her with open arms, but Victoria can tell something's up. I know you're not here for personal reasons, so what do you need? I'm looking into a case and I was wondering if you could help me. Oh, I always wanted to work on one of your little mysteries. Is Fred working on this too? No, this one's personal and private. Velma hands Victoria the court file and Victoria's excitement quickly dissipates. Are you looking into the Cogburns? I'm looking into the sinkhole incident. The Cogburn cleanup crew is the same Cogburn that owns the pharmacy lab. They're brothers. I knew that name sounded familiar. What do you know about them? Enough to know not to stir the waters with them. Velma, these people have wells for pockets. Whatever you're looking into, if it involves the Cogburns, you need to stop. You're probably right, but I just can't. Then at least take this advice. Do not approach either of them until you have the silver bullet and it's well out of their reach. The rest of the visit went well enough. As Velma calls an Uber, Victoria insists that she uses Fred's old car while she's in town. Velma's hesitant to take the offer, but Victoria won't take no for an answer. Velma picks up some takeout on her way home for her and her father. When her father turns in for the night, she looks up information on the Cogburn Pharmacy Lab, and while there obviously won't be anything incriminating on their website, it's a good place to start. Most of the information is them boasting about their reputation and their reputable staff. They talk briefly about the projects they're working on to better help humanity. It's the same song and dance that every medical facility does to get potential backers. However, Velma discovers they've been developing a drug and it's reaching the end of its trials, which will make it more accessible to the population. There's not much open information on the drug, but Velma can't help but wonder if this new drug has any of the chemical markers that was found in her test results. Realizing how late it's gotten, Velma calls it a night. The next day, Velma has been pondering if she should call Dr. Edna Purdue or not. She's still pretty shaken by the break-in and what Victoria said about the Cogburns. She's painfully aware that every decision she makes from here on out has to be carefully thought out if she wants to avoid anyone else getting hurt. Feeling overwhelmed, Velma decides to get some air and visit Sam. She sneaks in his favorite shake. The two reconcile over his last conversation as William walks in. He hands Sam a stack of papers to sign so the days he's missing won't damage his attendance. William, do you know a professor by the name Edna Purdue? Yeah, but I'm surprised you know her. What are you guys talking about? Edna Purdue was a professor at the university when your mom and I was going there. Your mom was taking her class. I, however, wouldn't be taking her class until next year, but that never happened. Why? From what I heard, Edna started a fire due to negligence. Thankfully no one was hurt, but it did cost the university a pretty penny. That's it? What else were you expecting? Was she working on something specific that caused the fire? I don't know, Velma. Like I said, I wasn't involved with her. Last thing I heard about it was that the school let her go. This doesn't make sense. How does this connect to my mom? She was a witness. Did she tell you anything about what happened? No. I assume the school made her sign something. With William's lunch break almost over, he takes the signed papers and makes his way back to the university. Velma stops him in the hallway and tells him to forget about the file. William retorts saying that Sam told him it was stolen and that's why he didn't bring it up, along with him feeling it would be inappropriate to mention it in front of Sam. He promises Velma he'll still help her with whatever she needs, all she needs to do is ask. Velma goes to say goodbye to Sam, but he's already fallen asleep. She takes the empty cup out of his hand and throws it in the trash so the nurses don't find it. I've decided, Sam, if I can't solve my mother's disappearance, then I'm done. They'll be fine without me. We are finally starting to piece things together with the reveal of new characters. Where will this lead? Find out in the last 2 episodes where all the juicy stuff is. Thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe!